Speaker of Parliament Tan Chuan-Jin says the parliamentary probe against ex-Workers' Party MP Raeesah Khan is an important reminder that MPs mustn't abuse the immunity and privileges accorded to them. Ahead of Parliament's first sitting of the year next Monday, Mr Tan also says MPs should ensure that they make statements based on facts or well-substantiated information. The Committee of Privileges formed by Parliament to look into Ms Khan's lies in the House has released 6 special reports to date. Besides Workers' Party leaders, several of its members and volunteers, as well as a psychiatrist, were called to testify. Mr Tan, who chairs the committee, says that it will thoroughly investigate any complaint and will submit findings in due course. Now, here's a timeline of events based on what they've said since the saga started on the 3rd of August. On August the 3rd, Ms Khan first lies in Parliament that the police had mishandled a sexual assault case. Days later, she comes clean to party leaders Pritam Singh, Sylvia Lim and Faisal Manap. In that meeting, she also reveals her own experience with sexual assault, after which Ms Khan sends a text to her 2 Workers' Party assistants, saying that leaders had told her to take the matter to the grave. Now, leaders didn't discuss with Ms Khan how to handle the lie for the next 2 months. Now, that's until on October the 3rd, when Mr Singh and Ms Khan meet to talk about what to do should the issue be raised at the next day's parliamentary sitting. And, true enough, Law and Home Affairs Minister K. Shanmugam brings it up. And right in the House, Ms Khan texts Mr Singh for advice. She repeats the lie after not getting a reply from him. Now, the leaders meet Ms Khan again on the 12th of October. This is the first time that they get an express confirmation from her to correct the lie. At the end of the month, the party's Central Executive Committee is made aware of Ms Khan's lie and her intention to clarify this in Parliament. Ms Khan confesses to the House on the 1st of November. And the next day, the party forms a disciplinary panel. The panel, comprising Mr Singh, Ms Lim and Mr Faisal, interviews Ms Khan on the 29th of November. She resigns from the party the next day, meaning that she also quit as an MP. Now, that same day, the panel recommends to the party's Central Executive Committee that Ms Khan should be expelled if she didn't resign. Then, on the 2nd of December, the party calls a press conference to explain its actions. The next day, the Parliamentary Committee of Privileges presents its first special report. Now, the month-long probe by the committee has brought up different interpretations of what happened. At the heart of it is how responsible the Workers' Party leaders are for allowing the lie to fester over the course of 3 months.
We need to determine the level of responsibility, culpability, especially when a lie was repeated.
Yes, sir.
On 4th, and then meet other statements, of course, where there were lies were reinforced. And we need to determine as to what your directions as leader of opposition was.
The committee pressed party leaders over why there were no clear instructions on how the matter should be handled right up until the 4th of October. That's when Ms Khan repeated the lie. Leaders said that this was to give Ms Khan time to tell her parents about her own sexual assault first. But Ms Khan claimed that leaders told her to continue with the narrative when she first confessed.
That at the very least, sometime between the 4th and the 12th of October, you would have taken clear steps and made clear your direction for Ms Khan to come clean immediately.
I believe I had made that direction clear on the 4th of October when she herself volunteered that honesty was the way forward. I said, good, we'll talk about it.
Yes, that's the sum total of your words then.
Yes.
You did not tell her to tell the truth in Parliament in those words.
It would have been very obvious to her.
But you didn't tell it to her in those words.
Not
correct?
In those words, yes.
Right, thank you.
Fellow leaders Sylvia Lim and Faisal Manap said that they did nothing because they trusted Mr Singh to make a decision. Mr Singh also revealed that Ms Khan suffered from dissociation and that she should be psychologically assessed. A psychiatrist has since testified that Ms Khan was of sound mind when she made the allegations.
To use mental illness as a way to discredit someone, I think, is extremely out of line.
Then came the issue about whether Ms. Khan was given a choice whether to clarify her lie. This arose when the COP examined a set of handwritten notes that Ms. Sylvia Lim took during the party's disciplinary hearing. It described the exchange between Mrs. Singh and Ms. Khan about their October 3rd meeting. The committee homed in on Mrs. Singh's words, "your call," to Ms. Khan. Both have conflicting accounts of this meeting.
It is for Ms. Khan to decide. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think when one informs an MP that he or she has to take ownership and responsibility, indeed, that MP has to take ownership and responsibility. And I can see why the word "your call" gives the suggestion that it's a choice for her to make.
Yes, indeed.
And I think that's a reasonable look at it. But in the context of how I had put it to Ms. Khan at the TP,
okay,
and in particular the question that I followed up with, I mean, you really can't tell a lie, can you? I think the entire context of the discussion on the 3rd of October really comes back to Ms. Khan having to take ownership and responsibility for this issue, which I believe I communicated to her quite clearly.
He said that if I were to continue the narrative, he would not judge me.
All right.
He did not put it forth as saying you can either tell the truth or you can continue with the lie.
Well, the party's disciplinary panel also came under scrutiny. It comprised the three leaders that Ms. Khan had first confessed to. Now, the committee questioned if that was appropriate, given her claims that they told her to clarify the lie. Now, the Workers' Party Central Exco was also not told that the leaders already knew about the lie as early as August.
All of us did not see any issue with it because it just stood to reason that the most senior people needed to look into this matter.
And it didn't occur to you or cross your mind that it would be relevant to disclose the fact that even if you're the most senior and most appropriate, which I mean, on that score, I have no reason to disagree, but these are the same people who knew of the matter some 3 months prior to it coming out in open in Parliament. Would you not think that that's a relevant fact to disclose to the public, to members of the Workers' Party, and indeed to the CEC?
That was not the primary consideration on our minds at the time.